Yangon, Myanmar, June 7, 2019. At dawn, traffic slowed outside a small riverside hotel. From its third-floor balcony hung a blue nylon travel bag. Swaying above the street, inside was a young woman bound. Silent and already gone, the label on the bag read Silver Cloud Hotel. Police sealed the area as cameras flashed. The heat climbed past 34 degrees Celsius, and with it, the question, who wanted her displayed and why? Within hours, CCTV traced 2 guests who vanished across the Thai border. Their names would appear in 3 countries before the file went quiet. Tonight, we reopen it to see what was meant to be seen. When police unzipped the blue travel bag, the smell of detergent mixed with heat. Inside lay Win Win Htwe, 28, wearing a sequined blouse and silver bracelets still on her wrists. There were no defensive wounds. The coroner's report lists cause of death as asphyxiation by cloth obstruction, the same fabric used to bind her mouth. Identification came from a missing persons notice filed 2 days earlier by her sister. She said she was meeting friends at a hotel, the sister told investigators. The phone signal stopped at 1:18 a.m. Inside the Silver Cloud, hotel records showed she checked in under her real name. CCTV footage confirmed she entered room 305 with 2 individuals, a foreign man in a white shirt and a local woman wearing a blue cap. At 3:02 a.m., the pair were seen carrying a large nylon bag down the hallway. They checked out before dawn. Forensic technicians found no signs of forced struggle. Pillows and sheets were missing. A single latex glove was left in the trash bin. Fingerprints matched both suspects. Police traced their taxi to Mingaladan Airport, a flight to Mae Sot, Thailand. Border authorities confirmed their exit stamps at 6:41 a.m. When questioned later under extradition orders, the woman admitted she had been paid to help carry luggage. The man, identified as Daniel Reyes, a 34-year-old traveler from the Philippines, denied knowing the victim at all within the Yangon case file. Investigators circled a single phrase from the preliminary report, body displayed to be found quickly. It was not concealment. It was message, and no one knew to whom it was addressed. The Silver Cloud Hotel kept only 3 security cameras in 2019, 1 at reception, 1 in the corridor, and a 3rd facing the stairwell. The feed looped every 12 hours, storing to a single hard drive behind the front desk. When investigators reviewed the copy, the first 3 hours of June 7th were intact until 2:14 a.m., then the signal froze. The next frame reappeared at 3:05 a.m., showing 2 figures exiting room 305 dragging a blue nylon bag. No sound, no panic, just the hiss of static where movement should be. The man held a hotel bedsheet over the bag as they reached the stairwell. The woman followed, glancing toward the camera lens once. Her eyes caught the light. It became the image that defined the case. Forensic analysts later confirmed that the gap in footage matched the interval when the victim's phone went offline. Hard drive metadata showed manual deletion, not malfunction. Someone had accessed the system using the manager's login at 2:17 a.m. Room 305 was a budget twin, 6 meters across, beige walls, a single ceiling fan. Technicians found traces of talcum powder on the mattress, detergent on the floor, and diluted blood under the drain. The ultraviolet scan revealed drag marks from bed to balcony and a statement to police. The hotel night clerk said he noticed the guests leaving with luggage larger than when they arrived. He remembered the man tipping him 5,000 kyat and saying, "Thank you for quiet service." A week later, Thai authorities handed over the deleted hard drive recovered from a pawn shop in Mae Sot. Half the video was corrupted, but one frame survived, the clock on the hallway wall reading 2:17 a.m. Below it, faint motion blur formed a blue arc against beige paint. The report closed that section with a single line, "Sequence incomplete." Intent unmistakable. On June 8, 2019, 36 hours after the discovery in Yangon, the Myanmar police issued an international alert through Interpol. The suspects were believed to have crossed into Mae Sot, Thailand, by bus using tourist visas. Their names, Daniel Reyes, age 34, and Su Mai Kin, age 26. Thai border officers confirmed entry stamps but no onward travel record. A joint task force traced their path through CCTV at a roadside motel. Footage showed Reyes exchanging currency while Kin purchased bleach, rope, and a cheap phone. At 9:15 p.m., they boarded a minivan bound for Tak province. Interpol flagged the pair through passenger manifests 2 days later in Bangkok, checking into a budget inn near Sukhumvit Road. Hotel staff remembered the man paying in US dollars and asking for a balcony room. Forensic teams later recovered the deleted Yangon drive from a pawn shop 5 streets away. Wrapped in a towel on June 12th, Thai police raided the inn. Reyes was found in the lobby, reading a paperback. Kin fled through the kitchen and was captured 3 blocks away, barefoot. Inside their room, officers found women's clothing, an oxygen mask, and printed bus schedules. When questioned, Reyes repeated one sentence: "She was already gone when I woke up." The following week, both were extradited to Myanmar under a mutual assistance treaty. Press cameras captured their return handcuffed. Faces covered by masks provided for dignity. Crowds outside Yangon's police headquarters threw bottles and shouted the victim's name. Investigators noted a final inconsistency. Reyes' passport contained a second name written faintly in ink: Antonio R. de Vega. Interpol databases linked it to 2 unsolved missing persons cases in Manila from 2017. What began as a local homicide had expanded into a corridor of connected disappearances across borders. In the file's margin, a senior officer wrote, "Motive unclear, pattern forming." The Yangon District Court opened proceedings on October 21, 2019. The room was small, air thick with humidity, cameras banned. Daniel Reyes and Su Mayat Kin sat side by side behind a wooden barrier, translators whispering through headsets. Prosecutors presented a chain of evidence: the CCTV from room 305, DNA traces from the latex glove, and the pawned hard drive recovered in Bangkok. Both defendants pled not guilty. Kin's statement claimed coercion. He said it was just luggage. Reyes maintained he found her dead and panicked. Over 12 sessions, the testimony wove 2 conflicting timelines. Witnesses from the border motel identified Reyes buying rope. A taxi driver remembered him laughing. Yet the defense argued that the woman had died from consensual asphyxiation turned fatal. Citing the absence of struggle, the court requested psychiatric evaluation. Reports described Reyes as articulate, self-contained, prone to rehearsed remorse. He told doctors, "I wanted to understand what silence feels like when it stops being empty." When asked about the blue bag, he replied, "It was never meant to hide her, only to finish the shape." The statement was entered into evidence without interpretation. On January 9, 2020, the panel delivered its verdict: life imprisonment for Reyes, 10 years for Ken for accessory destruction of evidence. Outside, the crowd chanted the victim's name as the convicts were led away. No appeal followed. In 2021, a journalist visiting Insane Prison obtained a letter Reyes had written, but never mailed. It read, "Tell them the bag was not blue when we bought it. It turned that color in the heat." The letter was archived under Exhibit 9-2B, last noted illegible beyond this point. For the families, justice ended in sentencing. For investigators, the question of motive remained untouched, filed beneath a color that still refuses to fade. Within hours of the verdict, the Blue Bag murder became a global headline. Photographs of the Silver Cloud Hotel spread across social feeds before nightfall. Hashtags multiplied, hashtag Blue Bag Case, hashtag Justice for Win Win. For many in Yangon, it was the first time a single crime had turned the city into an international stage. Local talk shows replayed the CCTV still of the woman in the blue cap. International outlets edited the story into short documentaries titled The Bag and the Sun. Each new retelling blurred fact and fascination. The police appealed for restraint. This is evidence, not entertainment. At the victim's funeral, hundreds gathered despite the rain. Her sister carried the photograph used in her ID card. The procession passed the hotel, now shuttered and sealed. A line of candles burned along the sidewalk, wax mixed with rainwater, forming streaks of pale blue. The government issued a brief statement warning against digital exploitation of criminal material. Yet the clip of room 305 continued to circulate, sometimes slowed, sometimes color-graded, as if viewers hoped to find a different meaning hidden in the static. In 2022, a streaming platform released a dramatized series loosely based on the case. The producers called it fictionalized for awareness. The family filed a protest, stating, "Awareness does not require repetition." Ratings soared. For journalists who covered it, the Blue Bag murder became a reference point, the first fully viral case of Myanmar's digital era. It showed how empathy could be measured in clicks, and how the blue of a nylon bag could become both symbol and screen filter. In the official archive, the final report closes with one paragraph in plain language: public interest sustained beyond judicial closure. Emotional evidence remains active. The file is stamped case unrevisitable. 5 years after the verdict, the Silver Cloud Hotel is gone. The building was sold to a logistics company, its name removed from the facade, its balcony welded shut. But residents say that every June, someone still leaves a single blue nylon bag by the gate, empty, folded and clean. In 2024, police academies in Yangon began teaching the case as a model for cross-border coordination. Cadets study screenshots of the Room 305 footage beside excerpts from Interpol correspondence. The lesson note reads, "Every object tells a story. Preserve the story." For journalists, it remains a cautionary landmark. How a tragedy turned into spectacle. Media ethics panels cite it when discussing the line between awareness and repetition. A professor at the University of Yangon summarized it simply: "We learn to verify before we share." The victim's family now runs a small shelter for women working in Yangon's nightlife sector. Its name is Project 305. The sign outside shows a blue ribbon tied in a knot, fading slightly each monsoon. Inside, a notice board carries a single rule: if you feel watched, call us. Daniel Reyes remains in insane prison. He declined all interviews after 2022. Guards say he spends hours drawing geometric patterns in blue ink on paper scraps, folding them into small bags. None are kept. In the city, people no longer speak of the crime directly. They speak of the reminder, how a single color, under the right light, can become a country's mirror. The final line in the government archive reads, "Subject, closure achieved, resonance ongoing," because some stories do not end where the evidence stops. They fade quietly into the shade of the thing that once held them. If you thought the horror ended here, you're wrong. What other dark rituals and forbidden practices are still being performed in secret? Dive deeper into the chilling world of haunted ceremonies, banned footage, and eerie folklore that refuses to stay buried. Click on the playlist to uncover terrifying recordings, lost evidence, and disturbing stories they never wanted you to see. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for weekly uploads of spine-tingling footage and dark tales that echo from the shadows. This is the Forbidden's Archive, where the hidden truth and haunting evidence come to life.